Streaming live across the country, tackling the topics everyone is talking about online. Share, engage, and interact. This is Newsfeed Now.
Good morning. I'm so sad to report it's Monday, but we're going to make it a Monday fun day. Welcome to Newsfeed Now. I'm your host, Hillary Hunt. We're going to be talking about all the top trending stories on this Monday, which include some people across the nation waking up happy this morning because money's hitting their bank accounts. And what about this? Ladies taking the cake at the 63rd Annual Grammy Awards. Was it a night for them? And everyone's favorite plastic astronaut, Buzz Lightyear. He went on an adventure, but don't worry, he found his way back to his owner. We're going to be talking about that. But of course, we need to start on Capitol Hill this morning. Democrats are on a mission to get the word out about the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan. The IRS already sending out the first round of those stimulus checks. Washington, D.C.'s Raquel Martin has the latest on what's to come.
Well, despite Republican pushback, Democrats continue to celebrate the passage of the American Rescue Plan. But they say it is only the beginning, and they're already eyeing their next policy priority. Sunday, Democrats continued their victory lap after passing a nearly $2 trillion relief package that's already hitting bank accounts.
Pretty exciting.
On ABC's This Week, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi said the plan will help millions of Americans recover from the economic impact of the pandemic.
50% of children in poverty will be taken off of poverty.
And Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen pushed back against assertions the surge of money into the economy will spike inflation.
I think it's manageable. The most significant risk we face is a workforce that's scarred by a long period of unemployment.
The economy is recovering.
But on Fox News Sunday, Louisiana Republican Bill Cassidy called the plan unnecessary and wasteful. No Republican lawmakers voted for it.
It is estimated by CBO that our economy will grow at 4.2% this year without this latest package.
Now Congress is turning its focus to passing an overdue bipartisan infrastructure plan. But there already appears to be some cracks in the foundation.
They ignored what we had done in a bipartisan way.
Wyoming Republican Senator John Barrasso says last time infrastructure was on the table, Democrats pushed what he calls divisive green energy policies.
They replaced our highway bill with the Green New Deal.
Pelosi insists Democrats want to strike a deal, but they are committed to President Biden's campaign promise to begin the transition to sustainable green energy. This week, President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris will hit the road on what they're calling their Help is Here tour. The mission is to educate the public about what's inside that $1.9 trillion package. For now in Washington, Raquel Martin, back to you.
Okay, we've made a lot of progress on the pandemic, but something I think none of us will ever forget. You remember those limit signs that said, oh, you can only grab one packet of toilet paper or you can only grab one hand sanitizer? Well, a year later, we've learned a lot of lessons. Those signs are gone. The shelves are no longer bare. And Daniel Hamburg has more.
March 13th, 2020, the day President Trump declared the coronavirus pandemic a national emergency.
Everyone doesn't know what's going to happen. So we're just being prepared, that's all.
And the day we were at Carnes, where they couldn't stock toilet paper on the shelves quick enough.
Way more toilet paper than we need now.
A full year later, Carnes Vice President Andrea Carnes says a lot has changed.
I'm happy to say that it has calmed down in regards to supply chains and out of stocks. Additionally, we're starting to see manufacturers have new product innovation, which has really been on hold for the last year.
More people continue to cook at home.
Their comfort levels increasing, so they're even getting more adventurous in what they're preparing. Hitting up spices and sauces and marinades to add some extra flavor to their meals.
Seafood consumption has risen during the pandemic, and so has the total bill at the register. The average spending is up 19%.
People are shopping less often. They are just shopping with a bigger intent. So they have their grocery list. They're being very intentional about what they're buying, making sure they're stocked up, getting in the store and getting out of the store quickly.
Giant says the demand for pickup and delivery services is here to stay. That convenience factor extends to the chain, creating a ready-to-eat meal solution called All Set in a Box for busy families. It's the same at Carnes.
People are shopping the meals to go more often. We've introduced a number of new items for quick and easy because they're still cooking at home. They're just looking for a faster way to do it.
There's better cleaning methods and a new air filtration system that's here to stay. but it's going to take a while for some changes to leave.
At this point in time, I don't see any safety precautions going away. You know, masks are here to stay, supplying gloves, hand disinfectant, encouraging people to keep a social distance.
A year into the pandemic, how we shop and what we shop for has changed, but grocery stores are adapting.
I'm glad people finally stopped panic buying. Well, in the East this morning, a set of New York lawmakers are calling for the resignation of New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo as he faces those harassment allegations. Our Washington correspondent Basil John has details.
Late Friday, New York's Senators Chuck Schumer and Kirsten Gillibrand became the latest to tell fellow Democrat New York Governor Andrew Cuomo that it's time for him to go. They joined a group including New York Congressman Jerry Nadler, who said, quote, "Governor Cuomo has lost the confidence of the people. Governor Cuomo must resign." And New York Congresswomen Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Grace Meng also released statements saying, quote, "These allegations have been consistent and highly detailed." And, quote, "The challenges facing our state and New Yorkers are unprecedented, and I believe he is unable to govern effectively." The White House says the investigations should be allowed to play out, but takes the allegations seriously.
The president believes that every woman who's come forward, there have now been 6, I believe, who have come forward, deserves to have her voice heard.
The governor says he won't bow to the pressure.
Politicians who don't know a single fact, but yet form a conclusion and an opinion, are, in my opinion, reckless and dangerous.
Cuomo says New Yorkers should wait for the investigations to finish, as he will not give in to cancel culture.
Let the review proceed. I'm not going to resign. I was not elected by the politicians. I was elected by the people.
The White House says these accusations will not impact the distribution of vaccines or aid going to the state. Reporting in Washington, I'm Basil John.
Okay, y'all, let's talk about your money. In the Midwest, many who have already filed their taxes this year are still waiting weeks to receive their federal tax refunds. I know I was checking my bank account, but there's a major backlog at the Internal Revenue Service that's keeping those checks waiting. Kira Mashik has more.
Nagel is used to this being her busy season, but tax time 2021 is even crazier.
We keep seeing the changes. We're told one thing, we're processing a certain way, and then we're like, whoa, stop. You got to do it this way now. So it's been really hard to keep up with.
The IRS is still processing nearly 7 million returns submitted last year for 2019 returns, partly because of the filing deadline being extended during the pandemic.
There's been such a delay, and a lot of it was they were completely shut down. And even now, a lot of them, they're working remotely. They're not at full capacity.
Faith Purdue runs a small event planning business hit hard this time last year.
It was crazy. It was challenging for sure.
She filed her taxes February 17th, a few days after the IRS started taking returns.
They have the bar at the top, and it said in that one spot that it had been processed or received, and it stayed there. And it stayed there. It stayed there. And hasn't changed since about a week ago. I believe it said that it changed, and it said that your return is still being processed. Check back for updates.
She and thousands of others who filed in the last month are now impatiently awaiting their all-important federal tax refund checks.
We have this little carrot that's dangling in front of us that we know could definitely help us financially, and we have to wait, and that's maddening at times.
Accountant Kelly Nagel says the process will likely only be bogged down further as the IRS processes a third round of stimulus payments, and changes with unemployment money not being taxed in the new American Rescue Plan may force millions to file amendments to their return, clogging up the system further.
Be patient with us, because it is changing, and it's going to change more.
The IRS, they got to get it together because people need that money, because some of that money is probably going to their Netflix bill. A lot of people watching shows right now, and there are thousands of hours of binge-worthy shows actually being featured on Netflix right now. But how cool is this? An Indiana man now has a surprise hit comedy on the popular platform. Mike Sullivan talked with the creator of a comedy based around a family running a Memphis funeral home. You got to check this out.
They are quirky, they are big, they're bold.
They are Warren Robinson's entry.
This is my office.
Into the world of Netflix productions.
I used to create stories, in my head as a kid, and then as a teenager I wrote plays and that kind of thing.
For this Hoosier turned lawyer turned show creator.
Born and raised in Indianapolis, Ben Davis, Giants, all the way.
Striking a deal to create a hit Netflix show wasn't simple.
It is reality. Everything you see is 100% real.
Nor was it easy.
I called this family like a dozen times.
Yet his show, Buried by the Bernards, finally hit Netflix viewers in early February.
If you have family, you can relate to this show.
I want to introduce you all to my Uncle Kim.
The crazy uncle, and we all have a crazy uncle.
It is about the wild lives of a family who owns a funeral home in Memphis.
Kim Jong-un, Mussolini, Stalin, and Debbie Bernard.
Everywhere has been really positive, which is great because Twitter can be harsh.
Robinson grew up on Indy's west side.
38th High School Road, Eagle Creek, over in that way.
Yet he still lives in Westfield, despite the production for the show taking place in Memphis.
I thought you quit.
I quit every day.
We got done that week before Netflix shut all their productions down.
That's when COVID came around.
I'm like, whew, we're good.
Only they were not exactly in the clear.
We had to do a big technological upgrade and allow for the editors to be able to work from home.
Each person
piecing stuff together
from different parts of the country. It took them a year to finish.
Once you turned those cameras on and we watched it back, I was like, man, they have that it factor.
Turns out,
and that's the Bernards.
Warren has that it factor too. In Westfield, I'm Mike Sullivan, Fox 59 News.
I'm going to need to watch that show. But guys, you know what everyone's watching this morning? The announcement that we knew was going to come. Saints quarterback Drew Brees officially announced his retirement from the NFL, and he did it in the best way with his cute kids, guys. He posted the announcement on Instagram with a special video message from his kids. I watched it. They said they are happy to be spending some time with dad. As we know, Brees is the NFL leader in career completions and yards passed. He retires after 20 seasons, the last 15 with the New Orleans Saints. I had no idea he was in the NFL for that long, or that he was that old. And he helped bring the Saints their first Super Bowl win back in 2010. So many people are going to miss him, but what a way to go out. What a legend. I love it. Another story I love. This is something that has been shared so much. Before we go, now we have to share it. A Southwest airline employees from Little Rock, Arkansas recently went viral for really going above and beyond to return a missing toy to a child that left it on a plane. In the moment, touching hearts all across the country. Mallory Brooks brings us that story.
2-year-old Hagen and his buddy Buzz Lightyear have been inseparable until he was accidentally left on a flight in Dallas that ended up at LIT in Little Rock. That's when ramp agent Jason Ham stepped in and looked at the bottom of Buzz's boot.
On the bottom was Hagen's name. That's the only way we were able to locate it.
He and a co-worker searched for passengers named Hagen and spent days tracking the family down to return the beloved toy. In the meantime, Jason made sure Buzz Lightyear would have a good story when he returned home.
I got to thinking, well, we could make it look, I could make it look like he was on a mission.
He took pictures of Buzz all over the airport and by the planes, and it didn't end there.
I thought, well, I went this far, I might as well write like a letter thing to, to Hagen. So I called him Captain or Commander Hagen and wrote a little letter about his mission and that he was glad to be home.
He even did art on the outside of the box. And then the moment when the box was opened and the toy was returned.
To Commander Hagen, I'm very excited to return to you upon completing my mission.
It's a moment Jason will never forget.
I cried a little bit. I mean, it made me shed a tear. It was beautiful.
And what happened next, Jason never expected.
My phone blew up and I was like, oh my goodness, this is an incredible response.
He was hoping to bring joy to one child, but ended up bringing joy to so many with the heartwarming story.
It fills my heart with joy knowing that we find so many toys on planes and that we're not able to locate because there's no way to locate, who lost a toy.
And his message to families?
Parents, when your kids are traveling on airplanes, put the names on their toys. We'll be happy to send them back.
Thankfully, Buzz is back home now with his best buddy Hagen after an adventure all over LIT and to infinity and beyond. In Little Rock, I'm Mallory Brooks.
Of course, now we have to bring in Mallory Brooks. I swear she's one of the best anchor reporters in the business. Love her. We're so happy you're joining us from Little Rock, Arkansas. And Mallory, you have kids. You know what it's like when they lose a toy, just how heartbreaking that is. As a parent, when you were seeing this and the whole toy return, how was it making you feel?
It is just the best story, Hillary. Thank you for having me today. Every parent knows
that toy that their child has, it can't be replaced. You could try and buy another Buzz Lightyear, but he would have known it's not the same one. My kids have toys just like that, and they know how heartbreaking it can be and how easy it can be to leave a toy on a plane. So what's so neat about this story, Hillary, is this ramp agent, he went above and beyond. He didn't just return it. He took Buzz on a whole adventure all over the airport with professional pictures, did handmade art on the box, wrote a letter to the captain or to the commander, and just to see sweet little 2-year-old boy's reaction whenever he opened it just warms every mother's heart. It's the story we need right now, I feel like.
And you talked with that employee. Talk about his reasoning behind just doing this and going above and beyond. Where easily he could have just said, "Oh, it's a toy. We're never going to find it." But he decorated the box. He took the pictures, like you said. Yeah. What was his reason for doing it?
And that's what makes this story so great is he was just doing it for the child. And he even said, I hoped maybe the mom would send me a nice message. That's all he was hoping. He never imagined it would become what it became, and he's so blessed and so honored, and he went on and on about how Southwest is just the best. And I'll tell you what's really neat, and I didn't get to go on and on about this in the story, I wish I could have, is that he actually went through, he found the little boy's name on the boot of Buzz. Like I said in the story, he searched through all of the flight logs for the whole day to find the little boy's name, finally found it, and spent 3 days reaching out, and finally got a hold of his grandmother, who got a hold of the family. So he wasn't going to give up. He was going to return this Buzz Lightyear, which he did.
He wanted to bring the smile back to Hagen's face. And before we go, he gave you a great tip for parents who are going to be traveling with their kids and toys.
Yes, he did. He said, always put your name on the toys, which is such a good point because things get left on airplanes all the time. And some things can be replaced, but for a child, I will tell you, as a parent who packs bags, every parent knows you have limited room. You bring that special toy with you when you travel. So that's the last thing you want to lose. So put your name wherever it is, put a phone number on there if you need to, because like he said, the agents will make sure it makes it home, and it brings them joy too. It's fun for them.
And it was just like the movie Toy Story. Andy, he wrote it on the bottom of Woody's boot, and it got back to him. So I love it. Thanks so much, Mallory Brooks, joining us from Little Rock, Arkansas. Guys, what a way to end this show on a Monday with lots of smiles. If you see that story on the website you're watching this on, make sure you share it so we can get it some more shares because it's going to make someone smile. I promise you. Well, thanks so much for joining us for Newsfeed Now. I want to see you right back here tomorrow. Hope you have a fantastic Monday. We've got more good stories for you tomorrow. Bye.